Now listen up. Let me tell you why Iran's retaliation was such a massive success. The media don't understand anything. They have no clue what they're talking about. First of all, this was a multi-pronged attack. This is the first time in history you see the entire resistance axis, Yemen, Lebanon, Syria, Iran, Iraq, all in a live military operation against Israel. You got Iranian missiles penetrating Israeli defenses, Israeli airspace, and hitting crucial military and intelligence targets, including the base that launched the original attack on the Iranian embassy in Damascus, the Nevatim Air Base. Do you know what the Israelis said afterwards? I swear you won't believe this. They said that they intercepted 99% of the rockets. Oh, and a 7-year-old girl was injured. She was the only casualty, those mean Iranian rockets. I mean, even if you believe this nonsense, even if you believe it, guess what? Wars are fought with wallets. The Israelis spent over $1 billion to shoot down 99% of the rockets. Iran spent $35 million in total to stress out every Israeli. That means the Israelis spend $2 million per missile to shoot down a drone that costs a few thousand. You do the math. Now, Iran also gained massive amounts of intelligence. They know what Israel's anti-missile capabilities are, their strengths, their weaknesses, their locations, their response times. What did Israel learn? Oh, that's right, nothing. Because they only saw Iranian weapons that they already know, but being used in gratuitous amounts. You had the Shahed 238, the Shahed 136, which played a massive part in Russia's victory in Ukraine. I mean, the psychological effects of this military operation are phenomenal. First of all, Israel's image as a military power destroyed twofold since October 7. The paranoia in the days leading up to the strike, and then the strike itself, and then after the strike. You got Israeli settlers losing their minds. Meanwhile, for the resistance, I mean, this is an enormous morale boost. Imagine you're living under Israeli occupation, and for the first time in your life, you see rockets flying at these Nazis over Nablus, over Bethlehem, over Al-Aqsa Mosque. This imagery is powerful. No one can contest that. No one. And we knew when we were watching it, we're watching history in the making. Iran also established deterrence and new rules to the game. Iran's patience was tested by Israel for decades. Far too much. But now the Israelis know there's no messing around anymore. They touch Iranian assets, Iran is going to hit back. On top of this, Iran bolstered its international reputation on the world stage, and it put to shame those Arab countries that are doing nothing. Iran's response was also rooted in international law. This strike is legal under Article 51 of the UN Charter. This is self-defense. The Iranians gave the West, they gave the UN Security Council 2 weeks to condemn the Israeli attack, to do something about the Israeli attack, but they did nothing. Remember also, Iran drew forces and resources away from Gaza. Any attack by anyone against the Israeli occupation is going to benefit people living under that occupation. Some residents in Gaza said this was the first night in months they could actually sleep without hearing Israeli drones buzzing overhead. That's why this operation was a massive military success. You know, responding to the embassy strike is victory, but to establish dominance and new rules of engagement or a new equation, that's playing chess. The resistance have masterfully crafted a strategy of keeping the Israelis on edge, drawing them into protracted wars of attrition and hitting them where it hurts, but without embroiling the entire region in war and giving the Israelis what they want. As a result, you got Israeli settlers running, leaving. This was the busiest day at Ben Gurion Airport since October 7th. Can you imagine? When you have a colony and the colonizers start running, that's the end of the colony. At the first sign of trouble, the Israelis rush to the airport and they whip out their second passports so they can go back to safety in their original countries. Palestinians got nowhere to go. And they wouldn't go anyway. You know why? Because it's their land. That's the difference.